At exactly 6:10 Iranian time, something extraordinary happens. Over 240 simultaneous impacts shake western Iran. Fuel depots erupt. Ammunition bunkers collapse inward. Convoy staging areas become secondary fireballs visible from space. This isn't random chaos. This is the United States Defense Department executing a checklist that was written years before anyone pulled a trigger. 3 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. 6 hours earlier, they lifted off from Diego Garcia, a remote British island base 2,500 miles south of Iran, where the Pentagon parks its heavy strike capability for exactly this scenario. No announcement, no drama. 3 $2.2 billion flying wings simply taxied into the dark and disappeared. The B-2 doesn't look like anything else in the sky. No tail, no fuselage, just 172 feet of angled surfaces painted flat black. It's designed to push radar energy anywhere except back to its source. Under normal circumstances, its radar signature is roughly the size of a large bird. But tonight, that barely matters. Because Iran's air defense network is already burning. The SEAD and DEAD missions that ran before dawn already solved that problem. Every Iranian radar dish capable of tracking a high-altitude aircraft is either offline or operated by a crew that learned the hard way what happens when you advertise your location to American anti-radiation missiles. The B-2 isn't sneaking through a working defense network. It's flying over the wreckage of one. Each jet carries 2 pilots sitting side by side in a cockpit the size of a small kitchen. They've been airborne for 6 hours. Behind their seats, a fold-down rest bunk. One pilot flies, one pilot rests. Yet then they swap. This is how the US Air Force fights wars from 2 continents away without breaking a sweat. But the pilots aren't the story tonight. The weapons are. Each B-2 carries 80G BU-38 Joint Direct Attack munitions inside 2 internal bomb bays. Each JDAM is a 500-pound GPS-guided bomb. 3 aircraft, 80 bombs each. 240 precision-guided munitions programmed before the wheels even left Diego Garcia. Every single weapon already assigned its own specific target. A fuel storage tank, a bunker entrance, a convoy staging area somewhere in western Iran's mountain corridors. Inside each bomb bay sits a rotary weapons launcher. Think of it as a revolver the size of a small car. The drum rotates. Weapons drop in fast sequence. GPS tail fins extend immediately after release. From 40,000 feet, they spread apart in open air, in each one steering itself independently toward different coordinates below. 1 aircraft, 1 pass. Dozens of separate impact points. The launcher cycles through all 80 munitions in under 2 minutes. At 6:08 local time, the first B-2 opens its bomb bay doors 40,000 feet over western Iran. The launcher begins cycling. A bomb releases every second and a half. The pilot holds course, says nothing. Aircraft banks south. Not a single cannon round fired back. Nothing even registered their presence. The second B-2 is 60 miles southeast over the Zagros mountain range. Bay already open. Different grid coordinates, same clinical logic. IRGC fuel depots, weapons bunkers, supply nodes. The third B-2 is northeast. And I'm running a parallel strike package over the supply corridors that have been pushing missiles and Shahed drones west for 3 days straight. And here's the part Iran didn't plan for. GPS-guided bombs released from high altitude don't all hit at the same time by default, but they can be programmed to. Each GBU-38 has a small onboard computer that adjusts its glide angle and descent speed to arrive at its target at a precise preset moment. All 240 bombs were programmed for the same second, not within a few minutes of each other, the exact same second. 240 explosions, simultaneously, across hundreds of miles of western Iran. At 6:10, the IRGC logistics network receives what should have been 48 hours of missile strikes, all at once. Fuel depot at Elam province, 2 direct hits. Storage tanks, rupture. As the fireball punches 200 feet into the morning air and registers on infrared satellites as a sustained thermal bloom. Missile propellant warehouse at the Kermanshah logistics hub. The roof folds inward before the walls even move. The pressure wave flattens perimeter fencing half a kilometer away. hardened ammunition bunker outside Sanandaj. The blast wave has nowhere to go except outward through the hillside. Seismographs 200 miles away record the signature. Convoy staging area in the valley south of Borujerd. Satellite imagery from yesterday afternoon counted 40 fuel trucks parked in neat rows. At 6:10, the valley floor becomes a secondary explosion chain reaction that turns every vehicle into shrapnel. None of those trucks will fuel anything, ever. These strikes aren't normal. This is a strike on a system. The IRGC doesn't store missiles in one place. It doesn't keep fuel in one depot. It disperses, it hides, it moves constantly. Against an aircraft that carries 4 bombs, that strategy works perfectly. Against an aircraft that carries 80 bombs with individual GPS coordinates programmed for 5-meter accuracy, dispersal isn't a solution. It's just a longer target list. Iran spent decades and billions of dollars from its military budget building a distributed logistics network, so no single strike could knock it all out at once. The B-2 was built by defense contractors specifically to answer that idea. By 0615, damage assessment teams are pulling satellite imagery across all 3 strike corridors. This isn't luck. The United States didn't wake up this morning and decide to bomb Iran this way. The national security planners spent years deciding exactly what to bomb and in what order. First, the radars, SEAD and dead missions. Before dawn turned Iran's entire air defense network into scrap metal. No radar means no tracking. No tracking means no targeting. No targeting means no shooting back. That door closed before the first B-2 left Diego Garcia. Second, the commanders. Strikes on Tehran's command infrastructure earlier removed the people who give the orders. An army without commanders is just a crowd of men waiting for a phone call that's never coming. Third, the missiles. F-15. East Strike Eagles hunted Iran's ballistic missile force across 3 provinces since dawn. Transporter erector launchers caught in the open. Fuel lines connected. Crews visible. The long-range strike force Iran spent a decade assembling to hold Israel and American bases at risk is now a collection of burning launch rails in mountain valleys. That was the top of the chain. Now, the Pentagon is cutting the bottom out. Because here's what U.S. military intelligence understood that Iran didn't expect anyone to understand. A military isn't just its weapons. A military is everything that keeps those weapons moving. Fueled, loaded, and aimed. Remove the weapons and a competent enemy rebuilds. Remove the system that feeds those weapons, and the weapons already built become useless overnight. So, the B-2S didn't hit missile launchers today. The F-15Es already handled that. The B-2s hit the fuel depots that feed the trucks that carry the missiles. They hit the oil storage facilities that power the generators inside command bunkers. They hit the water treatment plants and pumping stations that keep large military bases operational for longer than 72 hours. They hit the weapons warehouses where replacement parts, spare components, and ammunition reserves were stored for the next 6 months of potential conflict. This isn't random destruction. This is Defense Department doctrine. Radars, commanders, missiles, logistics, infrastructure, supply lines, in that order. By 6:15, that checklist is most of the way complete, and all 3 B-2s are turning south. Bomb bays empty, aircraft clean, no radar return, no evidence of anything except 240 coordinates that now have smoke columns where buildings used to be. A C-46 tanker is waiting over the northern Arabian Sea. The boom connects, and fuel flows. 4 more hours to Diego Garcia. 3 aircraft, 240 bombs. 11 minutes over Iranian airspace. 0 losses, 0 detection, 0 response. Iran built its entire military doctrine around one core idea: volume. Enough missiles, enough trucks, enough depots scattered across enough mountains that no enemy can stop all of them at once. It's a smart strategy. It works against almost every air force on Earth. It just ran into the one aircraft built to stop all of them at once. Right now, at Diego Garcia, 3 fresh B-2 crews are walking out to the flight line. Ground crews are loading the next 80 bombs per aircraft into the bays. 240 new targets, different coordinates, same outcome. Iran spent 40 years building a missile force designed to threaten the entire Middle East. though the US Air Force just proved it can dismantle that network faster than Iran can reload it. This is why the United States military spending dwarfs every competitor. This is why stealth technology and precision strike capabilities remain the cornerstone of Pentagon strategy. This is why Iran's dispersal tactics, effective against conventional forces, collapse against a stealth bomber carrying 80 individually targeted GPS-guided munitions. And this is how wars are decided before they're even fought. If this breakdown helped you understand modern military operations and US Navy power projection capabilities, subscribe for more tactical analysis of Defense Department strategy and national security operations.